I don't want to have to do anything crazy with my camera, which is sitting right here as we speak. But I want to react to this. What the hell do we have going on right here?
Okay, let me get back to my training regimen.
Best daily warm-up to help improve mechanics. Right.
If you guys want to improve at the game and play better overall, this is a pretty good way of doing it. Whenever you first hop on the game, like as soon as you get into Rocket League, do this thing, right? Travel around the field, do some wave dashes, and work on some recoveries. I call it just getting loose. You're just getting warm. It's the same as like stretching before playing football or basketball. Just getting your hands nice and loose. Work on some half flips, some wave dashes.
I've never really found this to work, at least for me, just because I actually play better cold. And the reason why is this. Because when you start to play like a lot, like when you really get warmed up, you start to play too fast. And then you actually lose your game. So you may find in the beginning of your sessions, you're actually winning your games. And then towards the end of your session, you're starting to like decline. It's very strange. And the reason why is this. You get warmed up. When you're cold, you're relaxed. You start to tense up a little bit. Teammates throw some games. Sometimes it gets worse. Maybe you're having a good session, and so you don't tense up as much. But when you start to tense up, naturally, your rotations start to go to shit. You start to go too far forward when you're second man, third man, and then, I mean, you just start blowing it. So I'd highly advise, just be careful that when you do warm up, you relax. It's honestly mental. It is very, very mental.
If you're feeling frisky, do some chain dashes.
But the best way to warm up, and this is something from professional coaching from soccer. Take this from professional coaches of soccer, okay? What they do is they try to simulate, the thing with coaching is what they do is they try to simulate lighting, what happens in a game in a practice drill. So that means if you are practicing wave dashes, it's helpful, yes, but it's the equivalent to basically a coach would much rather than having a guy who's a master juggler, having a guy who's really good at making 1-2 passes. Literally, like that's it. If the guy's a master at 1-2 passes and his first touch, I'm telling you that is so much better than somebody who's so good at dribbling. This is why you'll see people in the freestylers, they have great mechanics, but they suck at the game. So that's
Rocket League is a very skillful and very precise game. So if you want to play good, you gotta be warmed up. If you're the type of person that hops on Rocket League and literally immediately plays ranked, you're a maniac. And odds are, you're probably not playing as good as you can.
Partly disagree.
You gotta
just because of my first point going back.
Get your mechanics warmed up, or else how are you going to expect to play good? You got to make sure that every time you hop on the game, you are feeling good, and if you feel good, you will play good, right? So usually start with about 5 minutes of that. And
yeah,
then
I can't do that actually. I've been playing this game since 2015. I still can't do that.
So usually start with about 5 minutes of that.
Okay, it's a forward flip with a good time.
And then hit a double flip reset. So after that, you're going to want to mess around with the ball a little bit. You don't really want to go into the air too much. Just do some dribbles. You know, you might not be able to do what I do.
This helps.
But it's always a good practice to just kind of try and keep the ball on top of your car. So work on this. Maybe just like go in circles. Maybe do some figure eights where you change which side of the car the ball is on. And just keep it up a little bit. Now, once you do that for a while, maybe throw some flicks.
There's only, in a 3 sense, these are only going to work to an extent just because most of your engagements in 3s are going to be geared towards you're just going to beat the first man naturally. I mean, that's just how it's going to go. But the guy, if he, unless he doesn't hard dive, which they shouldn't, and they just drive at you just to pressure you, and then they rotate back in the rotation, your 1v1 skills aren't really going to matter too
go
much.
Underneath it and catch it.
But in situations where you do have things called like fast breaks, for example, which in basketball would be the equivalent of like a 3v5, a 3v1 or 2v1, where like somebody loses possession, they get a steal, and then you're in a 2v1, and that's where usually some dunks come in. These are helpful.
Yeah. Like I said, so now just
in 2s especially, these are also more helpful just because 2s are a lot more mechanical. There's more time, there's more space, there's less BS, just because the one less guy, meaning if you have one more guy in 3s, sometimes he can scrap the situation where in 2s it would have been a goal. So
just gonna flick it, catch it, flick it again, and just do that for a while. Now work on different flicks. Work on some quarter flicks. Like, you got to get all these things warmed up. So do some quarter flicks. Then you can go over here. Maybe like hit the ball really high into the air and work on catching it. Now, see, catching it is pretty
This is old.
difficult, but you want to catch it immediately. Like, you don't want that bounce that I had. All right, so after you do that for a while, then I like to try and work on my ground to air dribbles. I do that 2 ways. Number 1, off of a dribble. So you start with a dribble. You're going to pop the ball up, and you're just going to dribble it around. That'd be anything crazy. Now, off that bounce, you're going to pop up. You're going to work on some dribbles. Some air dribbles, that is, right? All right, and so then, again, off of the top of your car. Just try and carry it. Try and be a little different, and then you can even do this. Just hit it really hard off the ceiling. It's going to bounce down, and then same thing. That way you can practice your setups off of the ground, off of like the top of your car, and when it bounces off the ground. So do that for a few minutes, maybe like 5 minutes or so. Then you can practice your air dribbles off the wall. So I like to start off with just normal air dribbles where you're just carrying the ball, right? You're just sitting here, you're gonna carry it as far as you can, hopefully all the way to the net. And then make sure you guys do both sides. So, we just then went from this side, so let's go off left side now. And you also wanna go from different parts of the field. So now we're on left side, and this is just normal air dribbles, right? So boom.
These are helpful. And it's also helpful to note that he's using an arrow right or left. I think for this one, he's using arrow right. I'm an arrow left guy. Do that. If you don't have one of that binded, fucking start learning it. It'll be a 3 to 6 month curve. It's gonna suck, but I'm telling you, once you get it, I've jumped about 150 mmR. I'm talking from like 1700 to like 1900 just by simply mastering the arrow left.
Dribbles up, turning that car around, boom. And then I like to try maybe some flip resets. So again, I'm gonna pop the ball up, get the flip reset, and my only goal here is to recover. I have the flip, so then I use the flip. And I do that as often as I can in ranked. If no one pre-jumps you in ranked, getting the flip reset quick and getting back underneath the ball can be such a useful tool. Because at this point, you can do anything you want. You can go for a musty. You can, you could even fake them. If they think you have a flip reset, you could just take the ball all the way down to the ground, and they're probably going to pre-jump you. You see it all the time in RLCS. And another thing I like to practice in the air, this one is really, really good and useful for a higher rank because people will always pre-jump you. Like if you come up to them with the ball off the wall, especially in 3v3, odds are somebody's jumping. Like somebody's in the air before you even get off the wall. But if you're going at a pretty good pace, watch this. So you're going pretty fast. It looks like you're about to jump. Tap your brakes, hit the ball, and then use that dodge. So you're going pretty fast. You're gonna tap the brakes, hit the ball, and then use that dodge. And what that's gonna do,
that one, there's a delayed front flip you can do. So it's a diagonal flip. This is something that Garrett G is really good at, and Squishy Muffins. So you have cardinal directions. You have north, south, east, west, and then you have the diagonal directions, right? Bottom left, bottom right, top left. And you can do a flip cancel. You can do a flip cancel on your top left or top right spin. And what it'll do is it'll have your car, rather than doing this, right, where it goes backwards here, it'll just go like this. Makes sense? It'll go like this. So what that means is, rather than boosting, and when you boost, now instead of the normal flip, which is you're going to boost here and then downward and then back up, and it's going to fuck you up. Instead, what's going to happen is you're going to flip cancel it, and it's going to go boost, and then you're going to boost high the whole time, so then you can continue the dribble. It looks really nice, and it's
just going to fake out that first guy.
Thing that you can practice.
So the first guy is probably going to fly right past you because he thinks you're going to go quick. The second guy, he's probably going to jump pretty quick too, and that's what the dodge is for. So boom, first guy's gone. Now you're going to use your dodge, pop it over the second guy, and now you can either do a flip reset or an air dribble, whatever it may be, and you're able to get it past almost the entire defense. You see that one a lot at higher ranks. So now, we got to work on our power touches and our power shots. A good way to do that is to literally just bang the ball everywhere. Stay on the ground. You're just going to try and hit the ball with as much power as you possibly can all around the field. You're not going into the air. You're not following it up. You're smacking the Jesus out of this thing. You want this ball to be crying. Give it a black eye. Make it feel the pain that you feel every day when you wake up in the morning.
Sure.
It's got to hurt. And this is to practice your clears. Make sure that you're getting accurate touches on the ball. You're smacking the holy crap out of this thing. And all this is going to do is going to get you prepared. Now, all this takes, I know it's taken me maybe a little bit of time to explain it, but doing this warm-up honestly might only take you about 20-30 minutes out of your day.
Going to ranked.
20-30 minutes out of your day, and you're hitting things like that. The problem with going right into ranked as soon as you hop on Rocket League is that you're not improving at all. Like, all the
Disagree hard.
mechanics that you are trying to practice and get really good at, you're not really practicing them because
There is, I think it's not even. It's not even between 50-50 positioning mechanics. What it is good positioning. You're going to need some mechanics in order that are going to be called to you in the position in order to do it. But more often than not, you can get away with fundamental shit, have shit mechanics, have really good positioning, and you're going to do fine more often than not. So, for people that are wondering how far is this statement true, you're not really improvement. No, not at all. You are improving if you're positioning yourself better. If you are putting yourself in a better spot where it's easier for you to execute the play, that is 100% better. The pros are really good, and they get caught sometimes in positions where they make it too complicated for themselves. They do make mistakes. I've actually thought about making a series where it's like inside the mind of Justin, and I literally pause it like just like a minute clip of how he scored a goal or what happened in the play that and so covering every single disposition that happened and breaking down the position like I normally do, and you see in my coaching videos. I thought about doing that, but this thing where they're saying you're not going to improve, no.
you're just hopping into ranked. Yeah, every game of ranked you might try and air dribble like once, right? But if you're chilling in free play for about 20-30 minutes before you actually play ranked and you're practicing the right things, then you're going to improve a lot faster than if you're just hopping into ranked immediately and whatever. Now, there's a bunch of other things that you can also do.
See, the practice won't exactly be game material. That's the thing. So you want to put yourself in as many of the same situation as possible. Your practice tools are going to help a lot with this. When I trained, I'm a fucking boomer. When I trained, we didn't have custom training like this stuff. Like, we didn't get this until later. I was already top 100 SSL and shit. So we had to make our own thing, and we would go into exhibition matches and teach each other. That's how I did it. For this, I mean,
You're just hopping into ranked immediately and whatever. Now, there's a bunch of other things that you can also do.
The warm-up, it will help a little bit. But more often than not, what it does to people is that they start moving too fast in their position, and then they fuck it up anyway. So what you want to do is, I don't mind playing cold because I'm better positionally when I'm more relaxed, when I have a fresh mental going into the game.
I'm going to show you guys some training packs that I like doing. I love doing the Dacia Spring Challenge. If you watch me on Switch, you probably see me doing this one a lot. It's really, really good for the Dacia
where is it?
Spring Challenge. If you watch me on Switch, you probably see me doing this one.
It's MGZRDS if you're a PC player.
A lot.
It's
really, really good.
His workshop. It's like Mugzer. It's like MGZDRS Mugzer. Just look it up online. It's free. It's a fucking fantastic workshop.
The control,
I love
boost management, and I love doing it because on boost management, it's also gonna help your air roll, so you're going side to side, and then things like this where you have to really be precise with your dodges, and then the recovery, so you can land on these little platforms. I love doing those, and there's a bunch of these levels. There's timed levels as well, so you got to maintain your speed. That's a really good one. I love doing these ones. They're called the speed jump trials. Really, any of them are good to go because it's a little bit of air roll, it's a little bit of just movement around the field. That one and the dribble challenge, another really good one for like improving your dribble skills and improving your car control and the ability for you to carry the ball on top of your car. But yeah, once you do all that, then you're good to go, and you can just get started. Hop right into ranked and peak. All of a sudden, you're SSL.
I almost am tempted to stream snipe him. I want to go into a game, see how he does. Guy's going to be in my games, XD.